Salam guys. So I was scrolling through my Facebook feed and I saw a post by the ACLU, that's the American Civil Liberties Union, and I'm sure most of you know it, but for those who don't know, it's one of the oldest, largest, and probably most powerful non-profit organization in the country. And they're known for protecting people's freedoms, civil liberties, civil rights, that kind of thing, First Amendment, Bill of Rights, that kind of thing. The post was about massive shootings in schools. First month and a half of this year, so like January, like halfway through February, like last month, there had been already like 18 mass shootings in schools just in the US, which is obviously horrible. It's atrocious. And yeah, that statistic's pretty intense. But anyway, the post was talking about high school kids in different parts of the country that were marching and protesting and so on, and trying to talk to their congressmen and shouting at their congressmen and cursing at their congressmen. But anyway, you get the point. And they're student activists, basically. And the post was saying, not to get into all the details about the issue itself, mass school shooting, but the post was saying that your right to freedom of expression and freedom of assembly, etc., free speech doesn't end when you're on campus, when you're at your school, doesn't end when you enter the classroom, and the teachers shouldn't discriminate based on your opinions, etc., etc., etc. And I thought this was worth making an episode about because, well, okay, it's not to brag, but kind of had to brag. I've been speaking out in classrooms in like discussions, me and my teacher, me and my classmates, since as far back as I can remember. I could say like since 2008, which is what, like 10 years ago. I was in middle school, and every time an issue related to Muslims and Islam or some political issue, abortion, capital punishment, all the hot topics, I was one of those guys who just couldn't I couldn't just sit in my seat. I had to contribute to the discussion, and it wasn't uncommon for the discussion to go so that it was like me versus everybody in the class, including the teacher. That happened every once in a while. Palestine-Israeli conflict, that kind of issue. Islamophobia, Muslims in America, all those issues that I was really passionate about. I always spoke up. To be balanced and to be honest, I didn't always have the best manners. So sometimes I was right, sometimes I was wrong, for sure. But sometimes I was right, but it's not just what you say, it's how you say it. And I wasn't always polite about how I said it. Sometimes I would, get red in the face, yell and scream, argue, and be impolite, basically. I don't remember ever cursing, but yeah, it was almost to that level. And I did my best to always apologize later. I'll tell my teachers I was sorry, I tell my classmates. I didn't really have much control over my emotions and stuff. I've been working on it. But I thought that was interesting. The ACLU says that your freedom of expression and freedom of speech doesn't end when you enter the classroom. And that brings me to my advice for young Muslims. I tried for every episode not to just be some theoretical abstract issue or current event, some hot topic, but actually to have something practical for our audience, which are young Muslims, teenagers, high school age, that kind of thing. And the advice is, if you see something, say something, right? If you know something, say something. If there is a discussion, if there is a debate, and you feel like your side isn't being well represented, which is the case. I mean, Muslims are like less than 1% of the US population, so it's not uncommon for us to be a minority in every setting, including the classroom. Cool. But it's actually fun being the underdog in some sense. But definitely speak out in a way that's appropriate. Know your stuff, do your research, make sure you're knowledgeable about the topics, but feel free to speak out. In fact, I encourage you to do so. There's a whole list of ayahs and ahadith that I can use to support this, to say that Islamically it's part of your obligation. As an American citizen, it's part of your obligation, right? Dissent is the highest form of patriotism. That's a great quote. I'm not sure who that is. I'll probably look it up. I can't remember if it's like Thomas Paine, Thomas Jefferson, Patrick Henry. It's one of those guys. I just don't remember. But anyway, so if your views unpopular, if you're in the minority, if you're fighting the good fight, quote unquote, which is kind of the reason why I'm in law school. I encourage you. It can be tough and frustrating at times. I guess everybody wants to be well accepted and loved by everybody. It's just not going to happen. And don't make that your goal, because it's impossible to be accepted by everybody. Nobody in human history has ever been loved and accepted by everybody. Not even Jesus, Moses, Muhammad, peace be upon them, right? Not even the messengers. So don't expect it. Yeah, it's better to just be right, even if you're in the wrong socially. So yeah, I guess that's my advice for today. See you guys soon, inshallah. Salam.